Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, and we've got another thing, because Shadows have changed, we no stop. this everything's just we're full to go now. So obviously we are hurtling towards the release date, being the 31st of August, so that's coming up very, very soon. Lots and lots of stuff happening. It's getting a little wild, a little crazy, but we have about a 10-minute trailer here that is not trailer, but thing that's going to be showing off Yuan Bo. So not going to waste too much time. I imagine it's going to be very similar to the Changeling one, where it's going to be mostly showing off the mechanics as well as maybe some of the new units and stuff. So without further ado, let's jump on right into it. Now you got a bunch of Bretonians, Imperials, Cathayans. There he is. I'm turning this up. Oh, we got Lizardmen. Okay, so this looks like it's kind of Nakai's. Nakai's host is attacking. Which means Yuan Bo has been messing with shit. Just teleport his sword in there? I really like his dragon form. Brief chunks of Jade. Okay, so all right, so he is fighting the lizardmen, or he's pissing off the lizardmen at least.
Bureaucrat, administrator, wizard. Yuan Bo's siblings see only a diligent statesman. If but they knew how deep the Jade Dragon's claws could cut. A duty-bound diplomat with a dark side. If Yuan Bo appeals to you, consider pre-ordering, dropping a like, or sharing your thoughts. The Celestial River.
Yeah. Share your thoughts. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure those are going to be nice. Good grief. I will say, I do like Yuan Bo's depiction quite a bit. They've been kind of releasing little snippets of info to go along with the videos to kind of try and give us a little more context. One of the things I really like that they revealed about Yuan Bo is Yuan Bo often rules from Wei Jin itself. He's in charge of the central provinces, and he's also in charge of these the throne or the celestial province where Wei Jin and the city of the Shukengun is. So he is responsible for handling a lot of the affairs of state. Like when it comes to diplomacy / ruling Grand Cathay, Yuan Bo is by far the top dog. He has the most authority when it comes to like laws and edicts and making sure that everything's run smoothly. And as we saw in the beginning, he also is who everybody gets to see if they make it all the way to Wei Jin in an attempt to meet with the Emperor. And one of the things that we actually have a note of that I do like a lot is that Yuan Bo is often mistaken for the Dragon Emperor, particularly by foreigners, because they don't understand who it is they're meeting exactly. And because of Yuan Bo's appearance and his stateliness and the fact that he is treated with a significant amount of reverence and rules from Wei Jin itself, he seems to be quite often mistaken for the Dragon Emperor, and I don't think the Cathayans will go out of their way to rectify that mistake. I think they are completely fine with people mistaking the Jade Dragon for the Dragon Emperor himself. Though when it comes to like political authority, not that much of a gap between those two. But anyway, let's see what he's up to.
Lands is the Jade Dragon's haunt in the Realms of Chaos campaign, and in Immortal Empires, he starts in the Amira swamps, but already owns Shangwu.
Whoa! All right, that was a huge bomb to just drop very suddenly. Okay, so in Realms of Chaos, where is he?
And in Immortal Empires, he's the Celestial Riverlands is the Jade Dragon's haunt in the Realms of Chaos campaign.
All right, so he starts in the Celestial Riverland, so he's probably in Shenyang. So he's in Central Cathay, And then...
And, in Immortal Empires, he starts in the Amira swamps, but already owns Shangwu.
Oh, Shangwu. Not Shengyang. Shengyang's a different area. Shangwu. So, that is very interesting. So he has a dual start position. I like that a lot. And he's starting in Lustria. That is super interesting. Okay, let's see what the rest of the video holds. I'll talk more about that at the end.
In both campaigns, he'll begin by ridding the realm of orcs.
His fight animation is great. Yeah, Shangwu.
As a prominent leader of Grand Cathay, Yuan Bo is concerned with matters of state and can effect instant change in his armies and settlements.
Hold on, let me see these. Meteor Gambit, wow, takes, so you can get all the way up to 7. Oh no, you can get up to 8. So it looks like you need 4 of each. So you can have up to 8 of a resource, it looks like, at max. It looks like you start with 4 total. I'm guessing they move around. So Meteor Gambit, have all your movement restored. That's very nice. Foreign Stratagem. Target army is loaned to you. It has to belong to a neutral or allied. Wow, you can borrow a loaned, or you can borrow a neutral army. That is super interesting. If you declare war on the original owner, or you target. Okay, so if you're at war with them, you cannot take their army, and if you end up going to war with them, you lose control of the army. So you cannot like take an army and use it to attack its owner. And you also cannot pick armies that are led by the faction leader of that faction. But still, that's super cool. So if you just see like a random army passing through your area, or is just in a convenient place, you can just immediately take it over and use it yourself. I like that a lot. There's a lot of very interesting strategy and diplomatic things you could do with that, of like using them to attack a mutual enemy, or just using them because they're nearby to like save one of your cities that's under threat. That is very, very powerful.
Effect instant change in his
Celestial Intervention. Pick an army that belongs to you or an ally. Whoa! Holy mother of shit. All units in the army get 360 missile block, so that means they can block small arms fire from all directions, get an additional 15% missile block chance, gain the meteor ability, gain an additional 3 uses of the meteor ability, and plus 45% movement speed. Wow, that is an incredible buff. Celestial Intervention is absolutely insanely good. That is so good.
Armies and
Reserve Conscription. Target a settlement that belongs to you. The settlement's garrison is deployed as an army onto the campaign map. However, it suffers constant attrition until disbanding. That's pretty cool. So if you like need an immediate army to go reinforce another city, perhaps, or you just need more troops to help out with something, you can just immediately form an army out of the garrison. I do like that. Hopefully they've improved garrisons somewhat. A lot of garrisons are kind of meh, but hopefully they've done some further buffs.
settlements.
Fortress City. The target settlement, which needs to be a province capital that is at least tier 3 or higher, is declared a fortress city, gaining improved effects from all military and defense buildings. Every time you declare a new fortress city or commercial district, okay, commercial district's on the other side, you will gain an additional stone or steel token, up to 4 additional tokens. Okay, so you cap out at 8 tokens, and you make more of them by creating fortress cities and commercial districts. Very cool. I like that a lot. And it has to be on major settlements that are tier 3 or higher. So you need to control at least 4 capital settlements or major settlements in order to max out your matters of state numbers.
But a good
supply lines. Select an allied or army or your army. Get casualty replenishment to all units, plus 20% campaign movement. Oh my goodness. Plus 10 leadership in foreign territory, and plus 50% ammo. Very solid. Very solid.
Leader looks outward.
Diplomatic deadlock. Select an army belonging to you or an ally. Become immune to diplomatic penalties from trespassing. Oh. Okay, that's pretty nice. So you could just say, like, no, I don't need military. That's actually kind of hilarious. You need military access to come here. No, I don't, because I'm just going to flood you with paperwork.
2. And trade deals with the...
Oh, dang. There was one more that they showed up before they moved very, very quickly.
And can affect instant change in his armies and settlements. But a good leader looks outward too, and...
Oh my god, it's so fast. I don't have like frame by frame movement on this.
And can affect instant change in his armies and settlements. But a good leader looks outward too, and trade deals with the...
Damn it! I was just here too. I'm gonna try one more time, and then we'll just deal with it later.
With the Jade Dragon will reveal... and can affect instant change in his armies and settlements. But a good leader looks outward too, and trade deals with...
Okay, I saw cooldown. It looked like it all affected
instant
magic.
Change in his armies and settlements. But a good leader looks outward too.
Ah, got it. Plus 5 winds of magic to your power reserve per turn. 25% cooldown to all spells and minus 20% cost for all spells. That is so... Wow, he's actually going to be really good for multiplayer campaigns. Because, like, so many of these you can use to buff your allies. Awesome. I like it a lot. Okay, sorry, narrator. Continue.
And can affect instant change in his armies and settlements. But a good leader looks outward too, and trade deals with the Jade Dragon will reveal all regions owned by the trading faction.
Okay, so he has the high elf gimmick.
Beyond day-to-day politics, Yuan Bo looks to the Wuxing compass and, under his father's direction...
Okay, so that makes sense. Yuan Bo he's the spy master as well for Grand Cathay. He is the Emperor's executioner, the Grand Administrator, and he is also the spy master. So he kind of has that balanced relationship between his mother and his father. So the fact that he could spy on you when he trades with you, makes complete sense. That's fine. He's literally just stealing the high elf mechanic. The Dragon River. When active, all characters are immortal, and you lose 75% less casualties from attrition. That is very specific. Oh, this direction is locked. Reach Wei Zhen and build a relay landmark. Astromantic relay landmark building.
Plots to unlock its true potential.
I'm sorry, I'm stopping so much.
Yuan Bo looks to the Wuxing compass and, under his father's direction, plots to unlock it.
Let's see. This one, when your energy reserve is full enough, you get plus recruitment ranks depending on its level. When active, 50% extra experience for all characters and 33% bonus experience for all armies. That's not bad. Okay, and this one is Dragon Fang Mount.
Its true potential.
This one gives you growth as its passive, and then minus 15% construction cost for all buildings and minus 1 construction time for all buildings if you're actively pointing in that direction. This one needs Uzkalak. I'm assuming this is the Realm of Chaos map.
Using steel and stone tokens, Yuan Bo can enact various army, hero, and settlement actions across the camp.
Your next hero... Oh, wow, that one's actually a lot cheaper than I thought it would be. Your next hero action is guaranteed to succeed.
Army, hero, and
this target army instantly completes 1 turn of ongoing recruitment. Wow, that is so good for only 2 points. Like, a lot of these are great, but like that's really nice. I'm probably going to use the shit out of that one.
Actions across the campaign map.
Crackdown. Target settlement's province has control and all corruption reduced to 0. Nice. Okay, that's pretty cool.
These range from instant.
Your faction creates 4 random magic items or ancillaries.
Ongoing recruitment, to restoring campaign movement, to resetting...
Wait, what happened? I think I moved forward on accident.
Army, hero, and settlement actions across the campaign map. These range from instantly completing a turn of ongoing recruitment, to restoring campaign movement, to resetting diplomatic relations, and many more.
Wow, so I don't know if y'all saw that. It's your reliability rating is reset to very high and cannot go down. So with Yuan Bo, you can betray people and like you can have a military alliance with someone and attack them and like mess them up, which would knock you down to very low, but then if you use that ability, it would kick you back up to very high. That's a super cool ability. I feel like High Elves should have that.
Tokens cannot be destroyed, only transferred. For example, spent stone tokens undergo a 5-turn cooldown period before being returned as steel tokens. Winning battles reduces the cooldown by 1 turn. Additional tokens are earned by declaring fortress cities or commercial districts. Here, Yuan Bo is heading for the Tower of Ashir, but Shang Yang stands in his way.
Okay, yeah, this is
the AI is recruiting, so we'll send our hero to damage their recruitment buildings. Employing structured operation here guarantees a successful hero action and sets us up for an easier attack.
Wow, being able to get 100% reliability.
Yuan Bo cannot abide the centers. The executioner will spill Cathayan blood if needed.
Crowmen!
Infantry beware the Jade Lion's Breath. With 2 charges and significant damage, this spell is as devastating as it is finite.
So it's the basic Yang spell.
The Emperor's Executioner isn't merely Yuan Bo's title. Twice per battle, he can summon a Jade Sword to strike down enemy heroes and lords.
Oh shit!
Enemy hero isn't merely Yuan Bo as it is finite. The Emperor's Executioner is
2 uses per battle, 75-meter range. He could use it in dragon form, which is kind of crazy. Executes enemies below 20% hit points. Oh my. And if you're not below 20% hit points, you still take 366 to 732 damage per second for 2 seconds. That is crazy good. Wow, okay, so he's just fucks characters.
Isn't merely Yuan Bo's title. Twice per battle, he can summon a Jade Sword to strike down enemy heroes and lords.
That's what I really like all the Jade effects.
With access to multiple laws, including Yin, Yang, Light, and Heaven, Yuan Bo is a savage fighter, both as a human or a dragon, at range or up close.
Crowmen! Oh, we have we got a regiment of renowned Crowmen.
Later, we've recouped our spent steel tokens as stone tokens and can perform the commercial district action. This converts a tier 3 province capital into a commercial district, which gains improved effects from settlement buildings and all infrastructure and resource buildings. What's more, we've now gained additional tokens added to our pool. As part of Yuan Bo's faction mechanics, he reveals the region owned by trade partners, allowing for more forward planning.
Yeah, you already said
this further reveals neighboring factions who can also be traded with, which, in some cases, creates cascading trade deals.
That is pretty cool. That is a nice, like, essentially, that you kind of like reveal more and more.
Coupled with the Ivory Road, which itself reveals further factions to trade with, the Jade Dragon soon has an unparalleled lay of the land. Agreeing to join distant wars, which you're unlikely to ever participate in, to cinch a coveted trade deal with the Ice Queen is a diplomatic no-brainer.
I really hope they buffed.
Under secret orders from the Dragon Emperor, Yuan Bo has been tasked with undertaking a portion of a grander plan centuries in the making. He must seek out locations where the winds of magic gather and build astromantic relays to extend the reach and power of the Jade Compass.
There are places in the world where the winds storm and the walls thin. Where else would one place their hands upon the reins? This gives you the ability, a ritual to activate this dormant direction of the whooshing compass will begin upon building completion, allowing additional Cathay-wide powers. It also gives you +2 hero capacity for Astromancers, +1 power reserved to all winds of magic, and +10% spell resistance faction-wide. And then enemy forces who take umbrage to your presence here will oppose you with hostility upon building completion. And we see it is the lizard men. So, yeah, I have thoughts. Good thoughts, but I have thoughts.
There are 4 locations Yuan Bo must gain control of, either through diplomacy or...
Okay, so on this map we see, the Great Turtle Isles, the first one, Hexawaddles, the second
and these
one.
change depending on your campaign type.
The Southern Sentinels.
In Immortal Empires, you'll be assaulting lizard men made...
And the Star Tower. See, this feels like a more canonical version of what he's doing, but I'll explain why in a minute.
Settlements. In the realms of chaos, the locations are the Tower of Hashir, Weijin, Ojkulak, and Dragonfang Mount. Once captured, he must gather his strength whilst the relays are constructed and survive an onslaught of lizardmen warriors, for Yuan Bo's actions work against the Old One's will.
This is really interesting. Like, the Changeling was pretty cool, but this, like, from a lore perspective,
each new direction on the compass offers powerful boons. Nongchang Basin provides additional...
Oh, are they just going to show us what they all do? But look at that! Plus 20% sale value of cargo, plus 20% maximum cargo capacity, and plus 1 recruitment rank for caravan masters for being pointed at the Warpstone Waste. That is so much better than the old version. The old version was so trash. It was like it drained magic from people in Cathay or something like that. I don't know, it was terrible.
Growth based on your Cathayan-owned provinces, as well as boons to buildings when activated. Ashir awards additional winds of magic power reserves for each Cathayan-owned army, but has no active effect. Dragon River grants character immortality and reduces attrition casualties, but has no reserve effect. And Broken Lands increases the recruitment rank for each Cathayan-owned region and buffs unit and character experience when active.
That's weird to me that a share does not have a active effect. So like the only reason you would ever point at, or no, it doesn't have a, yeah, it doesn't have an active effect. What? So do you just activate it and then never point at it? Like, why would I, hold on. Did I understand that correctly?
Increases the recruitability and boons to buildings when activated. Ashir awards a...
Oh, no. Okay. So no, this has no reserve system. Right? If you are actively pointing at a share, you gain access. Oh, you can manipulate the winds of magic like Zinch does. Okay. Now, okay. Now you have my attention. All right. And you also get plus 5 winds of magic. I don't know. I kind of wish all of them had a thing over here. I don't know. It seems a little silly to me that they don't all have one. Also, why does the Dragon River like appear as an option and have the ability to fill up if it doesn't do anything? Well, okay, it has a tech symbol here. So I'm wondering if there's something in the tech tree you can get that adds an effect? Because otherwise, why even have this?
Additional winds of magic power reserves for each Cathayan-owned army, but has no active effect. Dragon River grants character immortality and reduces attrition casualties, but has no reserve effect. And Broken Lands increases the recruitment rank for each Cathayan-owned region and buffs unit and character experience when active.
That one's pretty nice.
Once each direction has been unlocked and held against an onslaught of lizardmen, the Jade Dragon must face one final incursion. Lord Mazdamundi confronts Grand Cathay's perversion of the Great Plan himself.
Mazdamundi? Damn!
It is here that Yuan Bo must prove he is worthy of his father's trust.
Cannot delegate this.
Wow, they just like flat out revealed the quest battle.
As leader of the Jade Court, Yuan Bo has access to the best soldiers, constructs, and artillery Grand Cathay can offer,
So the
as well
Lizardmen
as new
attack
additions to the
Weijin.
Cathayan roster arriving in Shadows of Change.
Pretty cool.
The Onyx Crowmen are more than Celestial Court spies. Their wicked beaks, terrifying speed, and impressive numbers make them the perfect choice to harass enemy backlines or run down routers.
The cold one's just like, damn it!
Only the most powerful warriors of Grand Cathay's army rise to the rank of Grand General of the Celestial Host.
I do like the big
Gifted
hammer.
and skilled fighters, these dragon-blooded generals are outfitted from the armories of
they're
Weijin
Shuken
and lead
guns.
their men from the front lines.
Well, they're dragon blooded, so yeah, they have Shuken gun blood. That's pretty interesting. I did not realize they were dragon-blooded. Makes sense.
Jade and Jet Lion's deadly slabs of card rock wreak havoc in melee, but are valued in Cathay for their magical properties. Jet Lions will dampen the effects of magic, whilst their Jade counterparts will boost sorcery and spellcasting.
He ate that skink like it was a toy.
In the traditions of Grand Cathay, a great war drum hangs above the gates of every city. But when danger calls from afar, the drum is carried to war to drive the beat of battle into the dragon's loyal soldiers. From that rhythm, Cathay finds its power and its victory.
I feel like it should have been the drum
Answering the drum's
beating.
beat is 3 additional Cathayan regiments of renown: the Grace of Kuei Yin, Empress Crowmen, and the Jade War Drum.
Oh, okay, they're all like right there. But okay, hold up. Let's go back. So we've got, what are these?
The Grace.
So we've got we've got Dragon Guard with crossbows. I think those are Dragon Guard. So Dragon Guard, or whatever they're called, with crossbows. We've got a Zangu, which, yeah, I found out apparently Zangu literally just translates to war drum. So a Zangu war drum is a war drum. So you would probably just call it a war drum, or you would just call it Zangu. You probably would not call it a Zangu war drum. But anyway, that's goofy. But random aside. And then we've got the Crowmen ROR.
Grace of Kuei Yin, Empress Crowmen, and the Jade War Drum.
The Empress is Crowmen. Interesting.
And that's it for the Jade Dragon and his bureaucratic intrigues. Next up, the hexings of Mother Estenkia. See the description below to pre-order, like, or share your thoughts.
Okay, so some thoughts. I like Yuan Bo's campaign a lot. I really like what I'm seeing. As far as his mechanics look powerful. I'm curious to see how his mechanics will interact with the other Cathayans. So, like, does his expanded compass, because he has to unlock the other 4 directions. So I'm assuming they're exclusive to him. But how is that? I'm curious if that will play into Zhao Ming and Miao Ying at all. I'm really hoping Cathay and Kislev both got some pretty serious. Like, we've seen that Zinch actually got some pretty strong free LC updates, so I'm really hoping Kislev and Cathay did as well, though I don't think we've seen anything article-wise about that yet. That being said, I really like the lore of what Yuan Bo is trying to do, especially his Immortal Empires campaign. So for those unaware, there's some really fun little additions to the lore. And some like stories that have been altered slightly to make sense with like the new canon, new lore and stuff like that. So a long time ago, oh gosh, I can't remember exactly how long ago it was. I want to say it was like at least a good 1,000+ years. Grand Cathay attempted to invade the Southlands, and from what we've been told, the Southlands invasion was headed by Yin Yin, the sea dragon. And Yin Yin attempted to launch this big invasion of the Southlands to take over a bunch of Lizardman territory and expand Grand Cathay's influence. But it did not go well. It was a disaster of an invasion for 2 big reasons. The first was that Yin Yin and presumably Grand Cathay did not realize that there was another continent between them and the Southlands, because they knew the world was round. They knew it was a globe, so they knew they should be able to just go around it, and they would arrive at the same place. They did not realize that Lustria was between them and the Southlands, and so Yin Yin and her fleet Yin Yin presumably went with the Southlands portion of the fleet, which sailed from Cathay to the west. Meanwhile, the group that was supposed to invade, that ended up invading Lustria, went east. So Yin Yin's force that went straight to the Southlands got obliterated by the Slann. The Slann of Zlatlan, and any other cities that may still exist in the Southlands kind of, looked at their prophecies and stuff, and they seemed to have an idea that the invasion was going to happen. So they ended up conjuring a typhoon, a big old storm on the ocean, and it just obliterated Yin Yin's fleet. So that part of the invasion was dead in the water before it even got going. The other fleet did make it to the western shore of Lustria and then started pushing their way inwards, thinking that they were going to encounter their allies coming from the eastern shore. Well, because they were in Lustria, they obviously didn't. They get their asses absolutely handed to them by the lizardmen and just the natural dangers of Lustria. And there is one survivor. There's a single guy who actually makes his way back to Grand Cathay and is able to tell essentially Yuan Bo and the Jade Court about what he encountered in Lustria and what happened. This obviously was massively disgraceful for Yin Yin. From what little tidbits about Yin Yin that we have, she seems to be referred to often as being very impetuous and being very aggressive. So when she launched this invasion, it's distinctly possible that she did not put as much preparation as she should have into it. And she may have been trusted with this task by her father, but she also may not have been. It's not exactly clear if the Celestial Dragon Emperor authorized Yin Yin to try and invade the Lizardmen, or if she just did it on her own without proper support. I would assume that she did have the support of her parents, but obviously it left her in a really bad place when she just completely flubbed. It was from all angles complete failure of a attempt. But now we know that thanks to this trailer and Yuan Bo's new lore, that we've known since Grand Cathay was announced that the Celestial Dragon Emperor and the Moon Empress have a plan. They are trying to pull something off in preparation for the end times. We don't know what it is, but we know that it's supposed to be insanely grand. And a part of it plays into what was kind of known as the time or the age of darkness, where the Celestial Dragon Emperor and the Moon Empress vanished. They left Wei Zhen and nobody knows where they went, and they were gone for about I want to say they were gone for 200 or 300 years. I don't remember the exact number, but they were gone for centuries. And during that time, that's when the Monkey King rose up, thanks to the Skaven making an alliance with him and kind of whispering in his ear and kind of getting him hyped up on his own fumes. And the Skaven managed to buddy up enough with the Monkey King that, with the Skaven as his allies, most notably Clan Eshin, the Monkey King launches an invasion of Cathay from the Mountains of Heaven, and he proves to be utterly unstoppable. None of the Dragon Kids are able to defeat him because they refuse to work together. They're all kind of busy doing their own little schemes, and they're not involved. They're refusing to fight side by side. And apparently the Monkey King is so strong that he can beat them one-on-one. Or at least, hold them off well enough that his army could then claim the win, especially with the help of the Skaven. So the Monkey King ends up capturing Wei Zhen, and declares himself emperor and declares his right hand to be a Skaven warlord, which is sacrilegious enough of a series of events that the Dragon Children, which there would have been 6 of them at this point because Shin Zhu should have still been around, finally put aside their differences and teamed up to fight him, took the battle to Wei Zhen, and during kind of the climactic events of the battle, the Celestial Dragon Emperor and the Moon Empress return. And when the two of them return, they with their children are able to completely eradicate the Skaven and defeat the Monkey King, who flees back to the Mountains of Heaven in the south. But what's interesting is apparently after the Celestial Dragon Emperor and the Moon Emperor's return, they kind of become shut-ins within Wei Jin and start working on some scheme. And this took place right around the end of the Great War Against Chaos, which was 200 years ago. So for at least the last 2 centuries, they've been working on whatever this plan is. And we don't know what it is. We just know that apparently it's like a master scheme that the Celestial Dragon Emperor and the Moon Empress feel very strongly is like they have to accomplish it. Now, we don't know if this would be like it's for them to defeat chaos or to kill the gods or to make it where Cathay will somehow survive the end times, or whether it'll like doom the humans of Cathay, but it'll help the dragons. Like, we have no idea what it is. But what we do know is that it's going to be incredibly difficult to pull off. And Yuan Bo seems to be the only one of the dragon children who is entrusted with some knowledge of it. And so that's what your campaign is about, is what is happening, which is why I'm very excited, is that Yuan Bo is being trusted with a major facet of the Celestial Dragon Emperor's plan, which is for him to go to Lustria and to succeed where Yin Yin failed. Because that would explain why Yin Yin did the invasion in the first place. It could be that her father kind of had the inklings of this plan all that time ago. He had, he knows about the geomantic web. He knows that there's like this immense amount of magic that's contained at all these nexus points that if they could tap into, could like, and feed that into the whooshing compass within the Celestial City, the Jade Compass, that it would dramatically increase their power. The amount of magic that would be flowing into the compass would make Grand Cathay one of the mightiest empires in the world. Like, it would, their power would increase manyfold. So it could be that Yin Yin was initially sent out to secure control over the geomantic web in the Southlands because they didn't know about Lustria at the time, if that part of the story is still consistent. And they realize, oh shit, there's this whole other continent of just lizardmen. There's no Nehekara here. There's no Araby. There's no Land of the Dead. It's just lizardmen. An entire continent drenched in magic. And it could very well be the Celestial Dragon Emperor has had his gaze on Lustria for centuries and has now reached a stage in his plan where he feels now is the time to strike. I need this magic in the whooshing compass for whatever I'm going to use it for. I need this. So he sends the number one kid he can trust, the number one child who can be trusted to with a incredible secret, being this great plan, a different great plan, but be trusted with all of this authority and with a task that cannot fail. So who do you send? You send Yuan Bo. You send the most magically powerful of the dragon children. We have we have lore notes that Yuan Bo is by far the most gifted sorcerer of the remaining dragon children. So it makes sense that you would send him if you're needing to build magical structures that are designed to channel magic, to siphon magic from the geomantic web and guide it along to the whooshing compass. Furthermore, he is much more methodical and careful than Yin Yin is. He is the executioner. He is the spy master. He is who mom and dad send after the absolute worst threats. Like, Miao Ying is exceptionally powerful, and Miao Ying seems to be heavily implied to probably be the strongest of the dragon kids in like just a flat out everything goes type situation. I feel like when you combine their martial and sorceress capabilities, Miao Ying is probably the deadliest of the dragon kids. And it also seems that she's older than Yuan Bo as well. From what we can tell, Miao Ying often declares herself as the eldest daughter. And granted, the most recent lore story says that Shiyama is actually the eldest, but Shiyama was dead before any of the other kids were born. So what I think is that Miao Ying is of the living dragon children is the eldest. I assume that she was the probably the second child born after Shiyama. She seems to be older than Yuan Bo, though it's not exactly clear. But she's in charge with the critical task of making sure that the Great Bastion does not fall, that the Great Bastion remains strong. And if you look into some of the lore interviews I've done with Andy Hall, her job cannot be understated. Like, she has to be ruthless and insanely powerful, because if the Great Bastion is destroyed or is sufficiently damaged, it can literally kill the Celestial Dragon Emperor. His very essence is bound within the Great Wall, or the Great Bastion. So her job is very important. So she can't leave. She has to deal with that. Obviously, Zhao Ming is the least trusted of the dragon children. Like, he's a mama's boy and mother dotes on him more than anybody else. But he's also, kind of going insane. He's got the Great Maw whispering in his mind, and it's starting to affect him. And he's becoming very buddy with the ogres. Like, there's a whole thing. There are various lore notes that Zhao Ming is actually seemingly good friends with Grease's Goldtooth, which I'm sure his father does not approve of. And he's also far more kind and eye to eye with his human servants. Another thing father is probably not very happy about. So father is very disapproving of Zhao Ming, would not trust him with shit. And that's kind of why he's out in the boonies in Shenyang. The Warpstone Desert doesn't necessarily really need a defender because it's so deadly and dangerous that virtually no one can make their way through, other than very well supplied caravans that are there to trade, not to invade. And then we have Yin Yin, who has already failed. She has already failed in an invasion of Lizardman territory. Obviously, she cannot be trusted to do this again. And then Li Dao is kind of a mirror to Miao Ying, where he has a critical job. His job is to contain the Monkey King, to make sure that the Naga of Koresh do not successfully invade, and that the Kingdoms of End do not successfully invade. He is the border guard. He cannot fail. And debatably, he already has, with the whole incident with the Monkey King invading during the Time of Darkness. So once again, he has screwed up. He has that dishonor besmirching him. Yuan Bo, from what we can tell, has virtually never failed. And is trusted with the most secrets. And he by far has the most authority and the most power within Grand Cathay, where even his own siblings do not actually know what his real job is. Yes, he is the Grand Administrator and the head diplomat, you could say. He's in charge of all this political stuff and all the laws, but that's kind of a cover for what he really is. He is the Emperor's executioner. If somebody or something needs to die, then Dad is going to turn to his favored son, which Miao Ying is said to be the Celestial Dragon Emperor's favorite child, favored daughter, as she always says. But Yuan Bo seems to hold both of his parents they seem to equally hold him in high esteem. Whereas Dad doesn't really like Zhao Ming, but Mom really does. And there seems to be some strong implications that Miao Ying's coldness and her aloofness, she's always so cold and aloof, also distances her from her mother, because the Moon Empress is said to be incredibly empathetic and to deeply cherish humans, and to care very deeply for the Empire of Grand Cathay. I would say it seems very, very, very likely that the Moon Empress is not, I don't think she hates Miao Ying by any extent, but I imagine that she is not particularly fond of how Miao Ying has developed as an adult, so to speak. Whereas Yuan Bo seems to be trusted equally by his parents. Because the Spy Master, that is the Moon Empress's thing. Kuei Yin, she is the ultimate individual when it comes to spying and stealth and diplomacy and cloak and dagger antics. That is Kuei Yin's sphere of influence. That is the lore of Yin. is kind of this noble darkness, this darkness for the sake of good, or rather, more accurately, for the sake of balance. But he is also the executioner, in a very Yang sense, in a very brutal frontline, wielding these, and most of his spells, like I think he has light, heavens, yin, and yang. And light and heavens, I believe, are both yang. So yin is shadow. Oh my gosh. Yin is shadow, metal, beasts, and death, I think. And then yang is life, heavens. Life, heavens, light, and fire. Pretty sure that's right. So Yuan Bo has light and heavens, which are both yang focused lores, in addition to yin and yang. But that's the big thing. He wields yin and yang. He's the first character we've ever seen do that. Like, he actually is very close to being genuinely balanced in the way he is. He's kind of this almost middle ground between Miao Ying and Zhao Ming, where Miao Ying is super yin and Zhao Ming is super yang, even though though in a fun twist, both of the lores that they are innately connected to are from the opposite spectrum, where despite the fact that she's very, very yin, Miao Ying is the life dragon, which is a yang lore. And then the same thing with Zhao Ming, where he's very, very yang, but he is the metal dragon, which is a yin lore, which is a really, really fun kind of parallel between the two of them. But Yuan Bo seems to be that middle ground. Though I feel like he leans the tiniest bit more yang than yin. Like, he seems to have more yang influence. He's a big melee fighter. He's very he's got like really grand armor and all this stuff. But, whereas the yin side of him is being the spy master, working with the Onyx Crowmen and being who they answer to, being the eyes of the Empress, stuff like that. But anyway, very, very interesting. I really, really love that expansion on the lore, that Yuan Bo is attacking Lustria to basically steal power from the geomantic web, which obviously for the Lizardmen is a huge fucking deal. Like, that is red alert to the maximum. That could have horrible, cataclysmic repercussions for the rest of the world. So yeah, obviously the quest battle would be Mazdamundi himself getting involved, because if the Cathayans are allowed to succeed with this this could dramatically just destroy the Great Plan. There's nothing more important than the geomantic web, because the geomantic web makes up the Great Warding, and the Great Warding is what prevents the realms of chaos from expanding from the southern and northern poles further into the center of the planet. So the Cathayans inadvertently would be rushing on the apocalypse by going through with this. But why? That's the real question. What are they hoping to accomplish by doing this? And we don't know yet, which is pretty cool. I will say, it's really, really awesome getting to watch so much lore be expanded on every time we get some new stuff. So anyway, let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I really like the lore implications of everything that's going on. Yuan Bo looks really cool. I definitely like Yuan Bo a lot more than I like the Changeling right now. I think the Changeling is probably going to be the furthest. I think the Changeling is going to be the most unique experience. And for people that are like, if I'm going to play this DLC, I want to play the most unique and really new experience, I feel like that's probably going to be the Changeling compared to the others, because he doesn't conquer territory in a traditional fashion. But so far, I am much more excited for Yuan Bo than I am for the Changeling, though I am excited for the Changeling. So yeah, thank you for watching. That's gonna be it for me, and I'll see you around. Take care. Bye bye.